We have a lot of great stuff to talk about in this course. But before we get to that, I want to tell you a little bit about myself and how I ended up in front of you here today. My name is Chris Bennett, oftentimes known as the Blockchain Beard Guy. I'm Chief Learning Officer and one of the co-founders of Blockchain Training Alliance. My blockchain journey began about 6 years ago. Well, if I'm being honest, my blockchain journey began a little bit before that. You see, I first got exposed to blockchain in the early Bitcoin days. But my first exposure to blockchain, I was fairly dismissive of it. And that's because of my background. Before I got involved in blockchain, I spent about 20 years in custom solutions design and delivery. Started off my career as a software developer, moved into software and solution architecture, product program engagement management, and eventually IT leadership. But for over 20 years, to one degree or another, I was the guy responsible for making sure that we delivered on time, on budget, to happy customers. And when blockchain came around, like I said, in the early Bitcoin days, I was fairly dismissive. You see, I looked at blockchain and I said, oh, blockchain, I know what that is. Blockchain is Bitcoin. And I know what Bitcoin is. Bitcoin is just digital money. And I said, you know what? I come from a technology background. I'm not an expert in finance or accounting or the world of money, so I'll leave this blockchain thing to the experts. And then in 2015, I came around and I took a second look at what was happening in blockchain. And I'm tremendously glad that I did. Because when I went back and took a deeper look, all of a sudden everything started to look familiar. And that's when I got excited. You see, I'm a believer that in the world of technology, we have two ways of moving forward. We have two types of advancements. The first type is fairly ordinary and regular and pedestrian. It happens all the time. These are our technological evolutions, and they are just what the name implies, an evolvement of our current technology or functionality. This is when we take some existing piece of technology or functionality and we improve it, we make it better. Whatever better means in that context is subjective. But we could do things like make it faster, easier, cheaper, more standards compliant, more well documented, easier to use, more widespread, etc. The second type of technological advancement is much more rare, and it only seems to happen once every generation or so. But these are our technological revolutions. And these events are defined as events where some brand new piece of technology or functionality comes into the world, something that had no predecessor. And to me, anyway, these are tremendously exciting and powerful events because they redefine not just the technology world or the enterprise space that surrounds that, but every part of human life, from art to music to spirituality to politics or culture or entertainment. And we can look back on some prior technological revolutions to see this is the case. Think about the impact of the last technological revolution we went through, something called Web 2.0 and social media. Think about how profoundly social media has changed the landscape of the world we live in such a short time. Think about the technological revolution that preceded that, the dot-com era and the arrival of the internet. You can see that these events didn't just impact the world of technology or the enterprise space around it. These were events that really redefined every part of our modern life. When I realized that's what blockchain was all about, I got excited because I've never gotten to be this far ahead of such a giant wave. And that's when I decided I wanted to focus my time, full-time, on blockchain. And if this technology really is going to change the world, if it really is going to have the impact that so many people are expecting, well, the first step to that is getting great, smart folks like yourself trained and educated on ways to use this technology and to use it effectively. And I'm glad that's what's brought you here today.